The Scrum Half, the number 9, the link between the forwards and the backs. Everyone knows that they need to have a great pass, a good level of fitness and a pinpoint box kick. But outside of these core skills, what else should a 9 do? Before we start, just a quick shameless plug. If you're looking for a rugby related gift or something just for yourself, please head over to shop.rugbyslate.com and check out our vintage rugby posters. So let's get right into it. 3 ways to become a better Scrum Half. Number 1. Cheat lines. This is an attacking concept that's easy to miss if you're just a casual viewer of rugby. But you might have wondered, how come the player that primarily distributes the ball seems to crop up on the score sheet so frequently? The answer? Support line, and more specifically, cheat lines. So what the hell is a cheat line? Well, watch this phase by South Africa. The Scrum Half, Faf de Klerk, distributes the ball but then never takes a step backwards. Instead, he predicts where the player is going to be and starts moving straight there. This means that he's there to support and help gain those extra meters. You can see from this above angle just how far ahead of the ball he is, effectively cheating getting to where the ball is, rather than just simply following the play. In this example, it doesn't lead to a try, as opposed to this example with Gloucester. The Scrum Half gets quick ball from the first breakdown and identifies there's an overlap out wide, so arcs his run so he's in the perfect position to receive the pass and score a very easy try under the posts. To add this to your game, it's not just about blindly running an aggressive cheat line every phase. It's about reading the play and making a good prediction. The best way for a Scrum Half to bring this into their game is to focus on directly running sideways from a breakdown. This gives them the option to curve it around and turn it into a cheat line, but if there's a tackle at or behind the gain line, you're still close enough to support. Number 2. Defensive positioning. If you see my video about the pendulum defense, you'll be familiar with the idea of defending the backfield, ready for a kick. In that video, I show this animation, which doesn't actually tell you the full story. A gap will open up behind the defensive line when the defenders move forwards towards the attackers. This gap is the responsibility of the Scrum Half. This might be obvious for some, but is often overlooked. Not only does it stop short chips or grubber kicks, but it also helps the defence in many other ways. Firstly, the 9 will be able to spot any areas that need more defenders in the line, and then fill them to stop the easy tries for the attack. Also, by the Scrum Half being behind the line, they're able to follow the play and make cover tackles if the attack do manage to get around the side of the defence. And finally, with the Scrum Half in this position, you're given a second line of defence if there's any small breaks through the middle, so the 9 can quickly snuff them out. Defensive positioning for a Scrum Half is very difficult to coach, as it's extremely dependent on the situation that is being faced. The core principles to follow in order of importance in something like this. Firstly, do I need to defend the fringes of the breakdown? If not, do I need to join the defensive line to plug any holes? And if not, then I should fall into the typical position, which will be about 5 to 10 metres behind the defensive line, following the ball across the field. In reality, it can end up being far more complicated than that. Number 3. Sniping. For those that don't know, sniping is where the Scrum Half picks up from the base of a ruck or a maul and then runs with it themselves. Any decent 9 will be constantly looking for gaps near the breakdown and attacking the fringes anytime there's an opportunity. Even forwards can get in on the action. However, what I want to talk about is where sniping is against defenders. How a Scrum Half can use themselves to draw in players, cause a mismatch, or generate an overlap. This is done by doing something that's typically avoided in rugby, running sideways with the ball. This can take a defender by surprise, and if they're too slow to react, can lead to an easy line break for the Scrum Half. Alternatively, if a second defender is drawn in to tackle the 9, then a gap will likely open up, and a simple offload will cause a big problem for the defence. This concept can be very simple, such as turning a 1-on-1 into a 2-on-1 by the 9 simply picking up the ball and drawing the defender. Or it can be a bit more complicated by adding in switches to attack the gap left by the 9 drawing the defenders across, or even working it into a pre-arranged move. Even if this sniping movement by the 9 doesn't draw any mistakes out from the defence, what it can do is give the 9 more time on the ball to make a better decision and pick the right option. To get sniping to work, the 9 wants to force the defence into making a decision and then exploiting any gap they leave, even if that means getting flattened in the process. The core idea behind this is to attack the inside shoulder of the outside defender. Here, the 9 is focusing on the 6. So as the 9 runs across, if the 6 is too focused on the 8 and comes up too fast, the 9 can just easily go through this gap without a problem. If the 3 is too slow at getting across, so the 6 needs to help tackle the scrum half, the 9 can simply offload the ball to the 8 for them to go through the gap. Or, like we've seen before, the 8 can run a switch behind the 9 and exploit the newly created gap. So, there's 3 ways to become a better scrum half: cheat lines, defensive positioning, and sniping. If you found the animations helpful, go check out @RugbySlate on Instagram for more play breakdowns of both forwards and backs moves. If you want to make your own rugby animations, head over to animator.rugbyslate.com. And finally, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more and check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks very much.